Welcome back. Looks like it's going to be a really good start for the market. The SGX Nifty is now up in excess of about 30-40 points, 45 points now in the green. Our entire research team is standing by to help us with the top 10 stocks that you need to watch out for today. And some good numbers coming through this morning, especially from the likes of Berger Paints. So Sonal is joining in to tell us more about that. She's also tracking Astral this morning. Sonal, over to you.
Good morning, Sonia. Let me start with Berger Paints. Decent set of numbers. It was a revenue growth of 11.7%. The volume growth this time around was 11.1%. So the revenues came in at around 2443 crore rupees. Gross margins also were higher for the company, 39.8% versus 38.9%. EBITDA was high by 6.5%. Margins at 15.1%. Profits, though, declined 15.6% to come in at 186 crore rupees. Astral also reported good set of numbers. It was an operational beat for the company. Revenues were up 8%. EBITDA up 36%, and what the street would like are the margins, because they expanded 400 basis points above that 20% mark, leading to a profit growth of 38%. Expect both these stocks to be in the green today.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Sonal. And we'll also be connecting with the management of Berger Paints at around 9:40 a.m. later today on Bazaar. But let's focus on a couple of other names. Surbhi joins us to tell us about PVR's numbers. Surbhi?
Thanks so much for that. So PVR Inox reported its first ever quarterly numbers post the merger, and it was a decent set of numbers. The numbers are not comparable on a year-on-year basis, but they were better than expected when you compare it to the poll. The revenues came in largely in line, came in at 1143 crores versus a poll of 1192 crores. EBITDA came in at 264 crores versus a poll of 216 crores, and margins came in at 23%. The company reported a loss of 334 crores, and the net loss was affected by two things: a one-time impairment charge of 11 crores and also a deferred tax write-off of 134 crores. Now they're opting for a lower tax regime from FY23, and which is what has affected their net loss. Now when you look at the internals, the occupancy was weak. It was down about 300 basis points, but the average ticket price and the spend per head, that was higher on a year-on-year basis, and also higher when you compare it to the pre-COVID levels. In FY24, the company plans to open 150 to 175 new screens, which is net of 50 screens that they are planning to shut down in FY24, which are underperforming. So overall, a decent set of numbers by PVR Inox.
All right, thanks very much for that. You know, you'll hear from the PVR management as well at 10:05 this morning on Bazaar. Okay, well, Coromandel International also reported numbers. Sonal has got details. She's standing by. Sonal, hi, morning.
Good morning. For Coromandel International, it was a mixed set. While the revenue growth was strong, up 29% to come in at 5,475 crore rupees. Their margins were lower. They came in at 7.3% versus 9%, and gross margins too, they declined on a YOY basis to come in at 22.6%. That's a 300 basis points decline. Profits also down 15%. So some red expected here because it's slightly lower than what the street was working with as well. As far as PCBL is concerned, that is erstwhile Philips Carbon, their numbers were good. Revenue growth of 13%. EBITDA was up 36% for the company. Margins also higher by 240 basis points, leading to a profit increase of 17%. Expect that stock to be in the green today.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. And you spoke about Coromandel International, so we will be connecting with that management as well at 9:50 a.m. today. So lots of buzzing managements coming up in just a while from now. But before that, let's get back to tracking numbers. Vesuvius is on our radar. Nigel, why are you tracking?
Well, good numbers, Sonia. You know, it's been a good performer, and these numbers look quite good. The revenue growth of close to around 18% is good. But what's better is the way the operating profit has improved by close to around 65%. Remember, it's one of the leading refractory companies here in India. And margins, well, they have improved. Just take a look at the margin improvement in comparison to a year-on-year number as well as on a sequential number, coming at around 15%. Now, sustaining these margins is going to be important, or somewhere in this vicinity. That's going to be crucial. Profitability as well jumps up. Remember, if you annualize the quarter one, they follow calendar year. So if you analyze the quarter one numbers, then it's trading at around 21 times. So let's see how it goes. But otherwise, these numbers look good. So expect it to open up well in the green. But Abhishek joins us to tell us about a couple of financial names. Home First Finance as well as Saturday Small Finance Bank. Abhishek, morning.
Morning, Nigel. So to begin with Home First Finance, there was a block deal that took place on exchanges yesterday. So True North has sold about 1.93% stake. They now hold about 18.2%. Aether Mauritius has sold about 1.29% stake. Now they hold about 12.06%. And we also have Orange Clove Investment, who sold about 2.14% stake in the company and now holds about 26.5% stake. So Norges Bank has actually bought over about 2.4% stake stake over there, and Society General has bought about 0.8% stake. Total deal size of the blocks were about 330 crores, which represents about 5.4% of the equity that is there in the company. Suryoday Small Finance Bank, they reported the Q4 FY23 numbers. Deposit momentum was really strong, up about 34.2% YOY and about 10% sequentially. The AUM growth was robust at 26.6% YOY and about close to 13% quarter on quarter. Take it with a pinch of salt given the fact that the tenure has increased, so you have seen lower principal repayment leading to AUM growth this time around. Asset quality has improved. They have sold NPS to ARC. NII is up 43.5% YOY and about 14.5% sequentially, which has meant that the net interest margin has improved YOY and quarter on quarter. So they have reported a profit of 39 crore, which was a loss of 48 crore in the same quarter last year and a profit of 18 crore in the previous quarter. Back to you.
All right, Abhishek, thanks a lot for that. Let's move on. Sonal is also tracking the windfall tax cut and the implications it would have on certain companies. Sonal, over to you.
The fortnightly revision has come about, and windfall taxes on crude oil production, it has been cut to zero again from 4,100 rupees per ton. Remember, it's the second time it has been cut to zero since the time it was levied back in July 2022. So that's positive, of course, for the oil producers like ONGC and Oil India. The export duty on ATF continues to be nil. Even on diesel and petrol, they had cut it to zero last time, and that continues to be nil yet again. It's effective from 16th of May, that is from today, and this is positive, of course, for the entire sector because now duties are nil across all the products.
All right, thanks a lot for that. So that's the windfall tax revision, but here's a quick recap of our top stocks with positive news flow. There's Berger Paints, Astral, PVR, PCBL, Vesuvius India, Home First Finance, Suryoday Small Finance Bank, ONGC and Oil India. While the only stock with negative news flow today is Coromandel International, so let's see how that goes. But there's lots happening in the world of crude. After 3 straight sessions of a decline, oil prices have actually rallied about 1% overnight. But there's also a wildfire that took place in Alberta and Canada that has affected the oil supply. So let's get straight to it. Manisha Gupta is joining in to give us the latest in the commodity markets. Manisha, hi, morning.
Thank you for that, Sonia. Well, yes, almost 2% of gains in the overnight market. The fire is one reason for that. And the other one is that the OPEC cuts to a total of 3.66 million barrels per day are now starting to show up. And the third important thing is that the Department of Energy in the U.S. is going to buy 3 million barrels for their strategic petroleum reserve. And they are slated to buy more later in the year. All factors suddenly turning around, and you are looking at strong support coming in for prices. We also have seen crude decline by 14% in last 4 weeks, and there is some respite and some correction on the higher side that we are seeing into the markets there. Higher strength is what we are looking at in the metal space as well, especially after that liquidity injection that came in from China, with the street anticipating that there are more stimulus measures perhaps coming in from that country. So the selling from the momentum-based funds have paused a bit. There is improvement in demand from the downstream industry as well. So copper is off 5-month lows. Iron ore prices gained 4% overnight. Steel was up 3% overnight as well. So many of these commodities trading in positive in Asia.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. We'll come back to you for more. Lots happening there.